Okay. Little technical difficulty, but we rocking and rolling. Hello, everybody. My name is Sharita Morgan. I'm going to be talking today about why I was so nervous about my daughter being at a trampoline park, Urban Air. We've been there before, but I'm always so nervous. And I'm going to tell you what I did last time. There was a game changer, okay? Also, I'm going to be talking about why kids improve so quickly in my tutoring coaching program. I help kids improve behaviorally and academically, okay? It's going to be great. So before we get going, click like, click share so that we can have this discussion. Parents, do you ever take your kids to Urban Air, trampoline park? They also have Kids Empire, these places. With Kids Empire, I'm much more comfortable with because it's smaller. But at Urban Air, it's a big place, right? There's tons of kids in there running around playing. And for me, I don't know about you, but it's also always been so difficult for me to just sit and relax and chill in one spot and then have my child just go and have fun going from place to place to place. Like, I got to watch her. I got to make sure she's all right, okay? So yesterday we went as a fundraiser. I'm PCA president at the high school, for the high school in my town. And so we went there. And I talked to my daughter and we came up with this new system and it works so beautifully. Okay. So usually, like I said, she's running from place to place. She's fast. She's very active. She likes to run and do cartwheels and climb the walls, and she'll do it over and over and over again. Does not run out of energy. 2 hours later and she's still going sweaty and everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh. She didn't run out of energy yet. So imagine having a child like that. And you're in this big place with all these people, right? So in the past, I'll be watching, I'll be looking, and then she'll dart out and then I'm like, oh, there she is, right? But it's like, it makes me a little nervous. And one time I was looking at a kid, I just knew it was my child. And then next thing you know, she darted out that way. And I was like, oh, now I'm trying to keep up with her. So it was just me trying to keep up with her and then telling her, hey, don't go to a new place without telling me. And then sometimes she want to go from this place and go all the way across to the other place. And then I'm like, hey, wait for me, right? So what we did yesterday was we talked about this. And I told her, I said, I'm not really comfortable with urban air because it's so big, there's so many people, and I can't really keep up with you. So that's why I stopped going. And she was like, okay, because she wanted to keep going. So I said, well, how about we do this? You go in, you play, you have a good time, and I'll be sitting in a certain spot. When you finish, come out and tag me and then run to the next one. Because I wanted to do it in a way where she didn't feel like she had to slow down her play, right? And that worked like a charm. So I was base. You know how kids play tag? You remember playing tag back in the day? Where somebody is base, or the tree is base, the house is base. You gotta run there and tag that area, right? Or that person. So she would go and she would have a good time. Then she would run out, tag me, run on to the next thing. So what happened was we shared accountability. It wasn't me just trying to keep up with her. It wasn't just me being aware. It wasn't just me being safe. We did it together. And that turned out to be so much better because she came back, I also had water. And homegirl was sweating. So sometimes I have a pause for a minute, drink water, then she move on to the next place. If the next place she was going was a little further down and I couldn't see that well, I just changed my location where she could see me and I could see her. And then she ran out, tagged me, went back in, right? And it was so great. It was so much easier that way. Now, I don't know if you've been following me. I often have the kids take responsibility in some way, take ownership in some way, speak up, express their thoughts and solve problems, It's part of the training. It's part of growth, right? And establishing a growth and achievement environment in a home. You always want the kids thinking, instead of us always running behind them, and me running behind my daughter literally, right? Instead of us always running behind them trying to manage them all the time, them actually growing in their own awareness so that it's safer for them and it's safer for us. Think about if they're in school and they have a school trip and they're not following the directions or the rules. So the teacher have everybody lined up, they're about to go somewhere, and if our children are not being aware and accountable, they might run out of line. They might be over here, and now the teacher's having such a hard time keeping the kids on a straight line. You think that that's going to be, they're going to be trying to do field trips and they can't keep everybody safe, you know? I remember Fun Day. Well, I volunteered at Fun Day in my daughter's school. We go there, tons of kids. Everybody's on the way outside. They have. It's so exciting. They have everything set up in the back of the school. They even have a fire truck where they just turned on the water and the kids was running through there, having a good time. You know, kids are excited, ready to go outside and have fun. Yay! And unless the child is also thinking about the rules of where they're supposed to be and following directions and being accountable for that, that will be very difficult to keep all those kids safe. All those kids safe. So when we teach our kids that at home, then it makes, when they show up to school and they have school events or a field trip or a fun day, then they will have more self-control. Like I talk about having a self-party where there's self-control, self-discipline, self-accountability. So that's just an example as a parent, right? Because I can talk to y'all from both sides. I could talk to you as a parent, and I could also talk to you as a teacher, okay? Because I was a special education teacher, and then now I was a substitute teacher first before I became a special education teacher. But I also am a mom, and I've also worked to improve my own kids' focus and learning and behavior at home. Okay, so they could be more successful in the classroom. So we rocking and rolling with that, okay? So that was much better because I felt like I could take better care of her. I could pay more attention to her needs. I could see when she was just playing and having a good time, and she might need water, but she don't want to stop playing. You understand what I'm saying? So it was just much better. And then there was a little conflict that happened. I was sitting right outside the they have the dodgeball in there, and that's the area where my daughter might have some problems, okay? Because she wants to play, and she wants to play with anybody, even the boys. And the boys are a little too rough sometimes. And then she be getting mad, and then she be wanting to fight. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be there to help her navigate that situation and playing with them. And it was great. It was fun, but it was like we had our system going. So it was easy to be there and support and supervise and do everything. Easier to keep up with her, okay? Now, at the end, I did something different also. It was getting late, and I wanted to wrap things up to go home. So I didn't do what you usually do, say, okay, 10 more minutes, right? Oh, 10 more minutes. Oh, man, I don't want to go. All that other stuff, right? I looked at what my daughter was involved. She was involved in an intense game. She was having a good time. Everything got calmed down, and then some other girls came to join the game. She was in it, right? So she needed some time to wind down, to bring it down, you know? She needed a signal, but she also, that it was time to wrap it up, but she needed some time before she just transitioned quickly, boom, from all that excitement to, okay, we got to leave, right? So instead of calling her, I just waited. Since we had our system where she play and everything, and then she come and tag me when she ready to go to the next one, or she'll play and then she'll come and sit next to me when she wants some water. You know what I mean? I just waited for that. That's the transition that she already initiated. And I'm not saying that as parents or as teachers, we should wait for the kids to want to transition for us to have them move forward. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I already had transitions built in. So I chose the transition to let her know when it was time to leave, right? This is the great part about having a system. We always talk here about setting up systems that practically run themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. So I didn't have to say, okay, Maya, all right, you got 10 more minutes. Come here, Maya. I just was chilling. I was chilling. I had a good time yesterday at Urban Air. I wasn't on the attractions or nothing. And I couldn't do that rock climbing thing my daughter was doing. I wasn't even going to try that mess. But I had a good time as a parent because I was chilling. I wasn't stressed. And I was enjoying watching her. And I was laughing. And, you know, it was fun. It was fun to me, right? So since I already had my system set up, I just waited for the transition. And when she came, I also didn't say, okay, you got 10 more minutes. What I said was, okay, so we're going to be leaving soon. Choose one more attraction to go to. One more of these games for your last one. Which one do you want? Right? And then she chose to go back in the dodgeball because she had a rock and roll in there. So she did. And then I just let her play out. And the thing is, I set a time in my mind for when I was going to tell her, come on, it's time to go. But also, I added something else. I observed her. So that, again, I'm not saying that we should wait until they're ready to leave. What I'm saying is, we combine our system and our structure with their cues and what they already have going on. So I knew it was going to be, she's going to get tired soon. And I had a time in my mind of when I wanted us to be out. So I can get her home, so she can, you know, have her shower for the night and get ready for bed and all that stuff. So I just was watching her. I have my time, but I'm watching her. And what happened is she was jumping around doing everything. And next thing you know, she just sat down and laid down on the mat. She just sat down and laid down on the mat over there. Everybody was jumping around and everything. She found a little corner and she was like, and then that was a little earlier than what the time that I had. And I was like, all right, baby girl, come on, let's go. Let's go. She was like, oh, she was so tired because she played hard, okay? She played hard. And that was great. It was the smoothest time I've ever had at the trampoline park at Urban Air. It was the smoothest, most fun time. And then we just walked calmly together and chilled out. And, you know, and I told her to say bye to her friends and everything. When I tell you no resistance, no, I don't want to leave. No, that used to happen in the past. Like a couple of years ago is when we first started going. So somebody would have a birthday party. We would go. And then it was time to leave. She would be all upset and stuff. I had to work with her on what we do when it's time to leave. And I set the structure up, you know, about time to leave. But this time I had a structure that I put in, that a system that I put in that would naturally bring us to that point. And it was keeping her safe. It was stress-free for me, and naturally bring us to the point where when it's time to go, it'll be an easy, smooth transition. So I just wanted to share that with y'all because, listen, I'm a mom too, and I'm always thinking of how can I improve this situation? How can I get better? How can we grow here? You know what I'm saying? In this particular situation, how can I do this better this time than I did it last time? So I'm always refining it, you know. And she has gotten better. She's definitely gotten better, but I wanted to add something else to it. And that's what it's all about when it comes to parenting. Parenting is not perfect, but it's definitely a growth journey. And just paying attention as you evolve, right? As a parent, you're going to evolve as a parent, and your child is evolving as your child. And when both of you can evolve together, that's amazing. And it's part of the growth process, right? So when we put strategies in place here, we put strategies in place, but they should be customized. I'm big on that. I'm big on the customization of what we do, parenting strategies, right? Learning strategies, behavior modification, and behavior growth, mindset growth. We put something in place, but we're going to grow from that. Okay, there's some strategies that I've developed over the years, because I have tons, that still work to this day fine. But there's some strategies that worked fine when I first started using them, and then I have tweaked them, I have expanded on them, I've made them more effective. They've grown, as I've worked with the kids throughout the years, and my own children. Okay, so I just want to say this to say, parents, don't beat yourself up if everything is not perfect, because it's not supposed to be. It's a process. It's a journey. And as long as you're walking, and as long as you are getting up every day ready to take a next step and grow, you're doing fine. Okay? And as a matter of fact, I used to say this to myself back in the day, on my toughest parenting days, when I had the most stress, like I was struggling. And I've had so much mom guilt. And I learned that don't do nothing. Mom guilt does not do anything except keep you stuck in the same place. And so what I started to say was, let me see if I remember exactly, because I haven't said it in a while. What I started to say was, right now today, now I remember it, right now today, with my past experience and what I know so far, I am the best mom I can be right now in this moment today. And there's always room for growth. That's what I started telling myself, right? That with what I have right now, I'm the best mom that I could be right now in this moment. And there's always room for growth. So I knew that I was just going to keep getting better and better and better and better, right? But I wasn't beating myself up for not being equipped yet, because parenting does not come, it does not come with a handbook. We know that parenting is not something that you know what to do like all the time, or you know what to do with everything. You might have a plan, and then your child might have you rethinking that plan, like this is a different child. This plan wasn't for this child, okay? Everybody's different. What we do here at the Morgan Limit Growth Institute is develop a good foundation and master consistency. What we're doing here is mastering consistency, being consistent and not giving up no matter what. That's what we're doing here. And then within that structure, within that system, we are further customizing for our children and for ourselves. Okay? So I want to tell you that. Now I'm going to tell you reason number one why my students improve so quickly in my tutoring coaching program. Why they come to my program and they were not able to focus for years, or they would melt down and throw tantrums and cry when their mom tried to get them to read, or if they didn't get their way, and they start to improve that quickly, right? When they weren't able to read for years, and reading was a big struggle for them, and then they start reading. When they will always wait to get help before moving forward, and then they start doing things on their own. Why do parents notice these changes quickly when they enroll their children into my program? Why do they start to see these changes, right? I'm going to tell you the reason number one. Every time I go live, I'm going to give you another reason, but this is reason number one, and it starts with the beginning. It's the consultation process. Remember how I was telling y'all that the key to success with kids, and the reason why a lot of kids are struggling academically and behaviorally in schools, because there's a disconnect between teachers and parents. And when we close that bridge, then we can create so many things together. And plus, it raises accountability for the kids. Because the last thing you want is for a teacher to be stressing in school because the kids' behavior, and then they can't get in touch with the parent, or they can't work together with the parent, and the kids go home and they tell a different story, and then they come back to school and they doing the same thing, and the teacher got to deal with that the whole market period. Or you'll want for parents at home, you stress because you want your child to do good in school, but then your child's coming home and you got a phone call from the teacher, or you see the failing grades, and when you talk to your child, you get a different story, and you don't have a connection to the school. What happens is, and when I say don't have a connection, I don't mean like, email and class dojo, no, but I mean like talking as people, because that's totally different for kids. When they know that their parents and their teachers talk, it's a total different vibe than just emails. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. And a teacher got really upset with me about this, saying I don't have time. I don't have time to be anybody's friend, and I'm not doing this and that. All right, this is for people who do want to do what I'm saying. Okay, you're more than welcome to join this. We are changing the game here. Okay, number one thing I do is I meet with the parent, and I build a relationship, start building that relationship with the parent before I even meet the kid, right? And when I was teaching in school as a special education teacher, I would get the students first, and I would get their information, but I would call the parent, and while I get the students acclimated to the classroom and everything, I would start building that relationship with the parent, because I want to understand my students. I want the parent to understand how I do things in my classroom and why, but I want the parent to feel comfortable, and I want to understand where she's coming from, where he's coming from, what they want for their kids, the struggles they've been having. All of that needs to happen in a conversation. It can't really happen just on a document, right? You got the file, right? But the experience, the talking, the connecting can't happen just by sitting. If that was the case when parents enroll their kids into my program, I will have them just send me a file, or fill out a form, and then I'll start teaching their kids. I don't do that. I have a conversation, and I listen, and I ask a few things. I want to know from the parent what the biggest challenges, what her or his biggest challenges are, and what they want to accomplish, what they want their child to accomplish here in the program and in school, right? What are your concerns? What are you dealing with every day? Why do you think your child is doing that? What have you tried? And what do you want your child to accomplish, right? What is the teacher saying at school? These are all questions that I ask when I initially meet with the parents. And then the second part is, now I'm ready to meet with the child, and I do an assessment. So doing an assessment is for step number 2 is so good and beneficial, because I've already talked to the parents, so I know what to look for. My assessment is not just about reading, and writing, and basic skills in math, and that's what the students, when I assess them, I'm assessing their basic skills, their foundational skills, what they should have learned already, and be able to what they should be able to do already, and then at their current grade level, how they handle their current grade level, and what's missing, right? But at the same time, I have in mind what mom has told me, and I'm looking for it. And I'm also looking and observing the students' performance, their behavior, their facial expressions, when they look defeated, when they want to withdraw, how they handle something challenging that I give them. Do they give up? Do they ask for help? Do they get out of their seat? I'm observing all of this, especially because those are the areas that I work on with my students when they start working with me in the program. So it all comes together. everything that I do in assessment is aligned with what I teach and how I help my students grow, but also with what mom has told me on the phone and the concerns that she's having, and then also with the concerns that the teachers are having, right, at school. So that's how I assess my students. So after I get all that information and experience, right, and I also do the assessment, and the kids got to be by themselves, no parents in the room, because we all know kids act differently when they get help. I already know that. I just want to learn how my students learn when they have to do it by themselves. What can they actually do on their own, you know? So then I take all that and I create an action plan, and I meet with mom one more time, right? And that's the process of my students coming into my tutoring coaching program, becoming one of my students. So by the time I start teaching them, I already know them. I know them. I understand them. I understand mom. I understand what the needs are. I understand what the goals are. And mom understands what I teach my students behaviorally and academically, how I grow their mindsets, and how I have high standards, how tough I'll be on them. I find out from the mom right then and there, are you okay with that? You know what I mean? Because I'm tough. I love on them, but I don't accept no excuses, you know? So we come in there together. There's a partnership. We cross that line together. And if we are coming in and we have a partnership already, then that raises the standards for my students and accountability. And they're already starting to work harder because they know that we're all on the same page and we're working together, and we both have these higher standards for my students, right? So that's reason number one why the students improve so quickly. It's because I build relationship with parent, find out what the biggest challenges and concerns are and what the parent wants to accomplish. And then when I do the assessment, I meet with the parent and the child for a few minutes first, and I ask the child what they want to get better at, what do they want to improve and why. And I ask the child to ask the mom, what do you want me to improve in? Or, you know, what do you want me to improve? And then the mom answers. So we all, everything is together. We're all discussing this growth, these goals, from day one. So when my student starts, they already have a structure. They already have a standard. They already have an understanding of what we're going to be working on and accomplishing. And I've been doing this for years. And yeah, it's very successful. My students do very well. They improve very quickly. And the parents are happy with the beginning. They improve very quickly. Now I will say this, for students, when they improve so quickly and then they may start to stall a little bit, or they start to pull back, like maybe they themselves are like, well, this is too quick. I can't really get away with anything, right? It's important, parents, to not give up. Do not lose faith. This is part of the process, right? If they're in my program and they're doing good in the program, but you got a phone call from school, it doesn't mean it's not working. It just means that we're going to address it, and then we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to stay consistent, and we're mastering consistency. Because when we have a plan and we're consistent and we're together, we work together and we communicate and we stay communicating, then our kids do much better. I believe that. So when I was a special education teacher, I did the same thing. And now that I have my own business, I do it the way I see, creates the way I feel creates the best success, right? All right. Thank you so much for hanging with me and listening. Now remember, this is the month of May. We're still celebrating Mother's Day all month, okay? I'm still celebrating. I'm just talking to y'all right now before I have my little smoothie, okay? I'm about to go in the gym. It's Saturday. I'm feeling good. taking good care of myself, right? I was out in the garden earlier today. I mean, I'm living my best life. Me and my daughter was out in that garden making it beautiful. We're going to make it all nice for ourselves. I'm just enjoying this whole month. I don't take one day for Mother's Day. I work too hard. My schedule is a little hectic sometimes. That's Mother's Day is like it's a break. I get to relax a little bit, but then I gotta jump back into work. And I know a few of you probably feel the same way. You know, a lot of you probably feel the same way, Mom. So we're gonna keep that feeling going all month. Keep stealing those little moments for yourself to celebrate yourself, because being a mom is a special thing and privilege, and it's hard work. Let's be real. Okay, now for you moms, I have a special going on this month. The consultation that I just told you about, absolutely free, plus 2 free classes to enroll your child into my tutoring coaching program. They get 2 free classes. All right, so it's now May 16th. We're gonna rock and roll with this promotion to the end of the month. Okay, so if you'd like to book a free consultation and get your 2 free classes, okay, and that consultation, remember, it includes assessment and action plan, and get your 2 free classes, you are more than welcome to book a free consultation with me. Okay, just send me a message or go to Growth Institute. What is it? Growth Institute. No, it's not. That's my old website. All right, forget that. I almost said the wrong one. It's growingwithsharita.com. growingwithsharita.com. So go ahead and visit the website, and then you can book an appointment from there, or you can send me a message. All right. Your message can be in social media. And then I will respond to you with a message where you can then book a free consultation. All right. Thank you so much. Also, parents, on May 21st, I'm going to be doing a 1-hour Q&A. We're going to be discussing creating systems at home, creating a growth and achievement environment at home, what to do when you're trying to get your child to read and they completely fall apart, right? Or you're trying to get your child to do chores or do their homework, and it's a big struggle for you. We'll be doing that. We'll be discussing that on May 21st, okay? So stay tuned, because we are developing everything for you, and we'll be posting. Stay tuned so that you can join that meeting. And it's going to be $10 for now, just $10. And then you can come in, and we moms going to get together, and we're going to discuss, and we're going to grow together, because we are building a village here at the Mark Unlimited Growth Institute. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you so well. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Let me know how you're doing, and let me know how we can continue to work together to change the game in the classrooms across the country. We got this, all right? Thank you. Believe in yourself, believe in your child, honey. Always remember that growth is unlimited. Peace.